Yeah, and let's just start with the game of the week. You just teased it right there, Shane, jumping down to Jerry World, where Arkansas and Texas A&M went head-to-head with a 9-game winning streak on the line for the Aggies. Finally broken by them Razorbacks. 20-10 was the outcome. But this one felt like it was never in doubt, Shane. I mean, the Arkansas Razorbacks came out ready to play. They've carried that fight all season long, basically since the second half of the opener against Rice. And, the story to me, Shane, two things. One, Arkansas just dominated on the first down. I mean, let's credit Kendall Browse, KJ Jefferson and company. I said they got to feed that beast. Treylon Burks, 10 targets, 6 catches, 167 yards, a touchdown. That was huge. And, A&M's defense was on its heels all game long. Now, I'll hype up what I said at a pregame, but I'll also call myself out because I thought Zach Calzada was going to have a lot better day. He looked good when they needed him against Colorado. He certainly looked good against New Mexico, but I don't want to say he got exposed, but I would say that Barry Odom and company came up with a terrific game plan, really stifled the Aggies outside of this Isaiah Spiller. I think it was a 60-something yard touchdown run. But beyond that, I mean, it was all Arkansas. And I don't know, the best may yet to come for them Arkansas Razorbacks, but it seems like everybody in the country is shocked that Arkansas is off to a 4-0 start. What were your thoughts on the game?
I've got a skittish dog named Bruno, little Morky. He's my baby. I love him to death. But he is anxious whenever I move. You know what I'm saying? I get up off the couch, he freaks out. It's like you'd think I'd beat him, but I don't. That's kind of like what I felt like Calzada was going through. Like every snap, he was just... It felt like he was ready to get out of the pocket. And I don't know if that's because he didn't have trust in that offensive line, which he probably shouldn't. But if you watch his feet, he was never in the moment. He was never in that game. And, but I don't want to blame. I know I started off with the blame thing, Mike. I want to start off by apologizing to the Arkansas Razorback fans because I did not think in the back of my mind they had a shot against Texas A&M. I just thought the talent was that much superior with the Aggies than it was the Razorbacks. And I'm telling you, man, I'm 2 quarters into this thing thinking, damn, either A&M's really bad or Arkansas is just playing really good. And it felt like the perfect storm. So, I want to apologize to them, and I want to apologize for the Aggies for having to deal with a quarterback that is afraid of his own damn shadow.
Mm-hmm. Well, and speaking of that, I totally forgot to mention this guy, Trey Williams. He was outstanding, number 55 for the Razorbacks. I don't see any way that he's not SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week after the show he put on down there in Jerry World. And, this is a guy that's been banged up. He was a transfer from Missouri. All these Missouri fans mad that they don't got a defense. Well, it's because some of your best linemen followed Barry Odom down there to Fayetteville. So, really he took this thing over. He was outstanding. And, I don't want to say this game was never in doubt, but Arkansas came out, was the dominant team. And then, the big play, KJ Jefferson, it didn't look like much, but he's hurt himself. He got his, looked like his leg banged up, and they had to insert the backup Malik Hornsby, who he can run, but, we've not really seen him as an effective passer. And that really kind of altered the momentum of the game. And it felt like in the second half, Arkansas was just trying to hang on, as opposed to in the first half, they were the dominant team in the game. So, I think even you texted me that it seemed like A&M, may win this game with Hornsby in there. But that's kind of how it felt. But that Arkansas defense never broke, did it?
It felt Tennessee-esque there for a minute, Mike. It's like, wait a minute. No, I'm with you. And when they got one-dimensional, it felt like they were playing a little conservative. A&M, kudos. They got back into this thing and had a moment. I mean, if it weren't for a crucial interception, I don't know if they could have defended that. I mean, they easily could have won this game. But the fact of the matter is you got that comfortable lead in the first half, and you did that by being just kudos to that offense, man. I didn't expect that from KJ. I mean, I did expect that from Burke. I mean, I know they're superior athletes, but I thought this defense, I mean, because that's all we've heard about is how great A&M's defense is, how many points no one scored against them, and then you look up, and they're just moving the ball at will. It took them a while, and they were almost a little skittish on that side of the ball until half. So, yeah, it was a great game. Now, as far as the injuries, have you heard anything? Because I know Burks was he was kind of off hurt for a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, not yet. I'm sure that's going to be the weekly question, just like it was Dalton Wagner and Ricky Stromberg. Are they going to play? Of course, they suited up, gave Arkansas their full tilt there on the offensive line. So, yeah, at this point, don't know. But certainly going into that game next week against the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, the only chance Arkansas's got, they need KJ Jefferson. They need Treylon Burks in uniform to suit up against maybe the best team in the nation. So cannot wait for that one. Shane, College Game Day has already announced they're going to be in Athens for the Arkansas-Georgia game. So much hype surrounding that one. And we'll see if the Arkansas Razorbacks can keep this thing going, where A&M's got Mississippi State at home next weekend, looking ahead before that big showdown with Alabama. So certainly the season's not done for the Aggies, but you got to get this thing, especially the offense, right immediately, because it's going to get much, much tougher here in a couple weeks when them Crimson Tide come to town. You know what?
Oh yeah, Mike, it's the guessing's over. The playtime's over. The given victories are over. A&M's got to turn it up. They got to win out. If they're gonna compete at the SEC championship, they've got to win out. And the margin for error is gone. So I think that's big. That's a big rebound. How does Jimbo get these boys going into next week? We'll find out soon. But again, I'd like to Arkansas, man. I'm telling you, they're legit. I doubted them. I was a lot of you guys out there that are listening to this that said, they had a good game. How good is Texas, But
right.
I'm telling you, Texas A&M's got a hell of a ball club, and Arkansas just whooped their ass.
Yeah, and Texas turned around. I didn't watch the game, but Texas Tech was undefeated. Texas hung 70 on them, beat the pants off them this week. So, again, that's only going to help Arkansas look that much better. You know what?
Yeah, absolutely.
The tricky time, there's a lot to unpack, I guess, when KJ got hurt, and just kind of overcoming a bit of a momentum swing there. And what did you guys do, and how did you overcome it, and what was KJ's status during that whole time?
Well, the defense kept us in the game. I mean, that was the biggest thing, and they knew it. Remember, adversity doesn't mean it has to directly affect your side of the ball. It affects the other side, and adversity affected, because KJ was out, it affected the defense too. And they went in there and played really well, I thought. And then when Mo picked the pass, it was so big because, it was, let's punt them down to the 20, they kick it back to our 20, not a lot happening, which was okay when you're 14 up. But then when it got to 7, it was a different story. And that was a big, big pick. I don't know if I even answered your question, to be honest with you. Did I?
With KJ, what was going on with him? Was he trying to get boosted back up?
Oh, no, he went into the tent. He hit right on top of his knee. And it's just a bruised knee. I think they tried to put something on it, to maybe numb it a little bit. And that numbing gel, I'm not obviously a doctor, but it takes them a second or two or a minute or two to get it, where it numbs your knee. And then finally it worked, and he came in, at the end of the game there in the fourth quarter. Coach Odom, his staff on that side of the ball did an outstanding job, but the kids executed the plan. They kept us in the game all night, and we knew they had to coming in because we knew A&M's reputation on defense. That was, was basically our defense versus their defense, and then which offense can score more points, and fortunately we did.
Trey Williams has 3.5 sacks the last 2 weeks. What's he doing
to be as productive?
Well, Trey really works hard, at practice, and he works all his different moves and those type things. And, he's healthy now. He was beat up a little bit early in the year, and he's healthy now. So he's really got a nice little swim move on him, a little rip move, and he's fast. Some of the things he couldn't do early in the year is because of health. His back was jacked up, his bicep was jacked up a little bit, and now he's healthy. So he's a good football player. I know, because he gave us trouble when I was at Georgia. I had 2 first-round left tackles, or Georgia did. I didn't. I mean, Georgia did, and we had a hard time blocking him when he was a freshman and sophomore.
I don't think you've been asked about Stromberg and Wagner yet. Stromberg and Wagner, just their availability.
Yeah, they're available. They're playing tonight.
How did that go throughout the week, and when did you know that was there?
They didn't practice, like I told you. I don't lie to y'all. I just keep stuff from it. But I was truthful. Neither one of them practiced Tuesday, and then or Monday, I guess, and then we started slowly working them in, and then Ricky said, "Hey, I'm ready to roll on Wednesday," and Wags gave me the thumb up, and Wagner's so tough. I mean, he's just a tough guy, and so I slept good and knew we had our starting 5 in there. Not that I didn't think we could do well if they weren't in there, but obviously there's a reason there are 1. And they went in there and they played the whole game, played good. It's a good defensive football team. A&M's A&M now. They won 11 in a row for a reason. They got a good football coach and a good team.
I talked about this before in terms of there are no quick fixes on the offensive line, but how would you evaluate their play and what you need to do?
Well, I mean, we got to protect better, and we got to. I know we didn't get as much as Sir. We popped a couple runs. Isaiah ended up with 100 yards, but he popped the one big run, had it there. We had some nice 4 or 5. We had some consistent runs the first 2 or 3 drives, and then we have a self-inflicted wound, get behind the sticks, and couldn't pick up on third down. Our third down conversions were really poor, and in times I have to. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth to do, but I think we got to get more surge. We had another. Jameer got hurt. And we had to move around again and make some adjustments today. We're getting banged up there, but we got to get more surge and try to find some more time. But I'll look at how we can scheme it or do it or see if what I saw in the game was. Till I look at the film, I don't want to say anything.
With the offensive line, 55 gave you a lot of problems.
He rushed well. He did off the edge. He did. He caused problem. Made a step up, get inside on 3-man rushes sometimes too, and did a real nice job. But and so you like to chip and help all those things out, but at the same time, when you're 8-man drop, you got to get guys into zones or they can double cover your guys and what you're doing. So we got to do a better job in that.
I know you talked about it in your opening statement, but could you expand upon that just a little bit? How disappointing it was to get behind early and then not really be able to get much of a challenge until you got late in the second half?
Yeah, well, we got middle of the third quarter. We were middle of the third quarter, 17-10. We popped it, so we had plenty of time. We had a whole quarter and a half right there with them one score, and like I said, that's a disappointing thing. We got to get some 3 and outs, win the field position battle, and then offensively go get some points, but we didn't do that. But it is, like I say, you never win a game in the first 10 minutes of a game, 15 minutes of the game, but you can sure put yourself behind the 8 ball, and that's what we did. We gave up big plays, big drives. They hit some just made plays early in the game, and we didn't get guys down. We were out of gaps, didn't tackle. I didn't think we tackled well. We didn't tackle in space very well, especially the first half of that game. We were very poor in our tackling, in my opinion. It looked like, again, I'll watch the film and see, but it put you behind the 8 ball, and you got some young guys, put some pressure on some young offensive guys, and we didn't do a good enough job coaching them to help them get through.